Hello everyone, we will be continuing the series of your perquisites. So we were talking about the perquisites and we have already discussed about the servant facility. Now another into the series is your gas, water, electricity, all these sort of your utilities, right? Be it your basic gas services, water services or your electricity facilities. So we are talking about them when they have been engaged by your employer. That means the employer directly provides you with such services or such facilities of your gas, water or electricity. It will be entirely taxable if the employee is a specified one. Now I have already explained that what is a specified employee. So nowadays if we see in a practical sense, every employee would be almost in specified employee, because he must be at least satisfying the condition number 3, which is your any employee drawing more than 50,000 rupee per annum. So any employee who is drawing more than 50,000 rupees per annum, so he will be your specified employee. So in such scenarios, it will be entirely taxable. Now when we say the facility is engaged by employee, that means the employee himself has taken the facility and later on it is reimbursed by the employer. That means employer is doing what? He is later on paying off the amount to the employee for the services that the employee has himself taken up, of course with the due permission of the employer. So in that case also, your this amount of your facility or the perquisite that you avail or you reimburse from the employer, so that will also be your fully taxable. Now the third one is your interest free loan facility. So when we say interest free loan, means that the employer is not charging any amount, not even a single penny for the your interest for the loan that he has extended to the employee. Now when we say if the loan has been provided by the employer to the employee, it is totally chargeable to tax, but conditions attached. Now what are those conditions? It says, let's say if that loan is given for the medical treatment, and that to medical treatment with respect to a specified disease. So there is a list of specified disease by the government, and if the employer is providing the loan with respect to the treatment, medical treatment, and that too with respect to the specified diseases, in that case. And the second case is that in case your amount of your loan is not exceeding rupees 20,000. So in these two scenarios, the that interest free loan facility that has been extended by the employer to the employee, it will not be chargeable to taxes, right? Another one is your medical facility. Now the medical facility, we again segregate into you could say two segments: the medical facility that the employer provides to employee within the India, right? And the second one we consider as the medical facility that has been provided by the employer to the employee outside. That means outside India, in any other abroad, right? So when talking about with respect to your India, so let us suppose there being a reimbursement. Reimbursement means the employee has taken the facility and later on he reimburses the expenses from the employer. So it says if the treatment is taken by the employee in any government institute, you could say hospital, clinic, right? So in that case it will be entirely exempted. That means whatever the reimbursements that the employee gets from the employer for the treatment that he has taken it up in a government institute, government hospital, that will be entirely exempted. Similarly, if the treatment is given in a private hospital or any private clinic, but that too, if that private hospital or the clinic is such which is being recommended by the government for the treatment of your government employees. Government do what is, it gives you a list of your hospitals which are the recognized ones by the government. So if you go for the treatment in such hospitals, and especially this facility is given to the government employees, so if they go for the treatment into such private hospitals or the clinics, so the entire amount of the reimbursements that they receive from the employer will be exempted. Similarly, if there being any medical insurance premium that is paid by the employer and later on or let's say paid by an employee and later on we are getting it reimbursed from the employer, that will again be exempted. Now, during the COVID period, we must have seen the employer, providing these medical facility with respect to your COVID-19 treatment. So, whatever the, medical treatment that they are providing, whether into your government hospitals or any other hospitals, so the treatment with respect to your COVID-19 is entirely exempted. Right, in case your employer provides the same or you get it reimbursed from your, employer. Now, further on, you are getting a medical facility in India, and that too in a facility. That means that clinic or that hospital is, owned by the employer himself. Again, if you are taking such benefit in a, facility that is being owned by your employer, that will be entirely exempted. Now, when talking about these medical facility, supposingly the employee is taking the medical treatment in abroad, right? So, expenditure onto such medical treatment, and when we talk about the expenditure, it includes your boarding and lodging charges or the expenditures of your patient and along with one attendant. So, when we talk about the medical treatment, we will be taking not just the medical expenses, we will be talking about the, to and fro charges of the patient and the attendant along with, and that entire set of amount that you get from your employer, and it is not chargeable to taxes, but provided if it is within the limits as prescribed by your RBI. If it is within the limits and such amount is provided by your, employer, then it is not chargeable to taxes. So, here again another point comes into the picture. If there is any, cost of traveling apart from, boarding and lodging, some other sort of traveling cost that is being borne by your employer, that is, subject to chargeable to taxes, but it is not chargeable to taxes, or let's say it will be entirely exempted in the hands of employee if his gross total income, before we include such reimbursement of travel expenses into his income, let us suppose उसका income जो है वो exceed नहीं कर रहा है 2 lakh rupees को. If it is not exceeding 2 lakh rupees, then we are saying it is not chargeable to taxes, and that too with respect to your medical treatment in abroad. Now, another crucial, perquisite is your education facility. So, whenever we are talking about education, we are talking about, different things that comes into the picture. For example, let's say the employer is providing any sort of expenditure with respect to the training of the employees. So, if he is providing such expenditures with respect to the training of employees, that will not be taxable at all, because he is doing what? It is doing it for the benefit or the enhancement of the skills of his own employees, right? And that would do what? That would only going to help the institution itself or the organization itself. So, that is why these facilities which have been provided by the employer to employee for its training program or for the skill enhancement programs, these are not taxable. But in case, for with respect to your education, if there is payment of tuition fee or later on the employee reimburses the same from the employer, that will be entirely taxable. So, if you receive any sort of, facility with respect to the education, that will be taxable. But again comes a point that let us suppose if the, institution or the educational, you could say ki center that is being owned by the employer himself, then it is exempted, and that too up to rupees 1000 per month for the employee's own child. That means he cannot take the benefit for, neighborhood, for the siblings child. He can only take the benefit for his own child, and that too subjected to your rupees, exemption is subjected to rupees 1000 per month, right? And that too if the facility is owned by the employer. Now, another important facility is there with respect to your gift in kind. If you are receiving any sort of your gifts from your employer and that too in kind, it is exempted, but only up to rupees 5000 per annum. You cannot have the benefit of gift in kind for more than rupees 5000 per annum. So, there is a restriction onto the same. आप गिफ्ट्स ले सकते हैं अपने एम्प्लॉयर से इन काइंड पर, लेकिन 5000 रुपए तक, वो भी पर एनम बेसिस पे, नॉट पर मंथली बेसिस, राइट. नाउ another facility that comes into the picture is your lunch facility. So any sort of your tiffin, lunch facility, food facility that the employer provides in an organization, and agar wo working hours mein hai, if it is within your working hours, it is entirely exempted, right? Similarly, if you just go for a training program in such remote areas, right, or if you are working into remote areas, that then also the food facility that you are getting from your employer, it is entirely exempted. But apart from your the place of working, you are getting any you could say the facility or the benefit of any such food or the lunch facility, then in such places, any other places, it is exempted, but exempted with conditions. Now what are those conditions? It says it will be exempted but to the extent of your rupees 50 per day per meal for 300 days. So there is a upper capping of your meal, there is a upper capping with respect to the number of days. That means you will be only getting what? You will be getting only rupees 50 per day, and that too per meal ke basis par, and for a maximum for rupee for your 300 days. So this is the exemption. If you are availing you could say the food facility in any other area apart from your you could say the working hours of your you could say the organization, right? If you are getting the facility within the working hours or during the working hours, that is fine enough. That amount that you are getting from the employer will be exempted, it will not be taxable. Now another facility that is worth discussion is your car facility. Now car, that is we again categorize into what if the car is owned by the employer, what if the car is owned by the employee, what if the running expenses being paid by the employer, or what if being the case where the running expenses are being paid by the employee. So we have different combinations for the same. So the first case that we take into account is wherein the car is owned by employee, यानी कि गाड़ी किसकी है? एम्प्लॉय की है. एंड रनिंग एक्सपेंसेस यानी कि उसका खर्चा कौन दे रहा है? इट इज बीइंग पेड बाय द एम्प्लॉयर. So it says if the car is owned by the employee and the expenses are paid by the employer, it will be entirely exempted if it is used for official purposes. अगर आप गाड़ी को सिर्फ official purposes के लिए use कर रहे हैं तो the entire set of amount will be facility will be exempted. Now let us suppose you are utilizing the facility for the private purposes, for your personal gains. In such scenarios it will be entirely taxable. अगर आपकी गाड़ी जो है एम्प्लॉय की है और जो रनिंग एक्सपेंसेस है एम्प्लॉयर दे रहे हैं, and that too it is being used for the private purposes, it will be entirely taxable. Now there could also be a case when it is partly. Now what do we mean by partly? Here we mean the car is being half utilized for the official purposes but along with some private purposes. So in such cases we see whatever be the amount spent onto the same, right, whatever be the amount on with respect to your car facility, exemption आपको कितना मिलेगा? Exemption would be rupees 1800 per month अगर आपकी कार जो है उसकी कैपेसिटी लेस देन 1.6 लीटर है या जो इंजन है 1600 सीसी से कम का है. तो एग्जम्पशन का अमाउंट आपका कितना होगा? 1800 पर मंथ तक. बट इन केस योर कार इज हैविंग मोर देन 1.6 लीटर कैपेसिटी या 1600 सीसी से ज्यादा का इंजन है, तो उस केस में आपको जो एग्जाम्पशन का बेनिफिट है वो एक्सटेंड हो जाएगा और आपको कितना बेनिफिट मिलेगा? इट विल बी योर रुपीज 2400 पर मंथ. सो दिस इज द केस व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट your car being owned by your employee and the running expenses being paid by your employer, right, and that too in a partly case. Now further on, let's say the person is also having a chauffeur, that means a driver. So in that case your 900 per month will be exempted. So this is the amount that you will be exempted in case you are having a chauffeur. Now second category that we take into account is, let us suppose the car is by the employer only but the running expenses are now being paid by the employee, the vice versa case. So अगर गाड़ी आपके employer की है and running expenses employee दे रहे हैं, so again official purposes से relate करेगा, entirely exempted. Private purpose से relate करेगा, entirely taxable. But what will be the case when we are talking about it is being used partly for the official purpose and partly for the private purpose? In that case, now the limit changes. It is not talking about the exemption now. Now it is talking about कितना amount आपका entirely taxable होगा. So इस case में आपका 600 per month अगर कार जो है लेस देन 1.6 लीटर कैपेसिटी की है या उसका जो इंजन है 1600 सीसी से कम का है, तो आपके 600 पर मंथ जो है वो टैक्सेबल हो जाएंगे. एंड इन केस the car is having more than 1.6 liter capacity and more than your 1600 cc engine, then in that case your 900 per month will be taxable. Further on, again talking about agar if let us suppose the employee is also having a chauffeur, he is also availing that facility, then 900 per month will be exempted, right? This was the second case. Now coming on to the third case under your this car facility, which is your car owned by the employer and we are supposing the expenses are also being paid by the employer. गाड़ी भी employer की है और running expenses भी employer ही दे रहे हैं. So इस केस में again अगर official purposes से related है entirely exempted, पूरा पैसा आपका exempt हो जाएगा. और अगर वो प्राइवेट पर्पसेस से रिलेटेड है तो वो सारा पैसा आपका टैक्सेबल हो जाएगा, राइट? नाउ व्हाट विल बी द सिनेरियो अगर अगेन आप पार्टली जो है ऑफिशियल और पार्टली जो है प्राइवेट पर्पसेस के लिए यूज कर रहे हैं, देन वी आर सेइंग आपका टैक्सेबल अमाउंट कितना होगा? इट विल बी ₹1800 पर मंथ. अगेन अगर गाड़ी का जो कैपेसिटी है 1.6 लीटर से कम है और 1600 सीसी से कम का इंजन है. सिमिलरली आपका टैक्सेबल अमाउंट कितना हो जाएगा? ₹2400 पर मंथ इफ द कार इज हैविंग मोर देन 1.6 लीटर कैपेसिटी या 1600 सीसी से ज्यादा का आपका इंजन होगा. नाउ अनदर पॉइंट दैट बिकम्स हाईलाइटेड ओवर हियर इज, अभी तक हमने बात करी कि कितना पैसा एग्जम्प्टेड होता अगर हम शॉफर जो है उसको एंगेज करते, बट अगर गाड़ी भी एम्प्लॉयर की है और रनिंग एक्सपेंसेस भी एम्प्लॉयर दे रहा है तो शॉफर के केस में, इन केस यू आर हैविंग दैट शॉफर फैसिलिटी, your 900 per month will be taxable, right? So this was all about your car facility. Next facility we are talking about using the movable assets of employer by the employee. That means कि आपका एसेट किसका है? एम्प्लॉयर का. यूज कौन कर रहा है? एम्प्लॉय यूज कर रहा है. And that too with the respect to your movable asset. We are not talking about those immovable properties, your land and building. We are only talking about the movable assets, and that too such movable assets apart from your laptop and computers. We are not considering the laptop and computer. We here means as per the Income Tax Act, this laptop is and computers are not being considered when we are talking about the use of movable assets of the employers by the employee. Now in this case, if let us suppose the asset is owned by the employer, in that case the taxable amount will be what? It will be 10% of the cost of the asset. So अगर आपका जो asset है वो employer का है, कितना पैसा taxable हो जाएगा आपका? That will be your 10% जितना आपका cost है asset का, उसका 10% आपका roughly और flatly जो है आपका taxable हो जाएगा. बट लेट अस सपोज वो आपने जो एसेट है बाहर से हायर अप करा है, राइट? एंड अगर आपने बाहर से हायर करा है तो उसके जितने रेंटल चार्जेस हैं जो आपके एम्प्लॉयर ने दिए हैं, हम यहाँ पर ये कंसिडर कर रहे हैं कि द रेंटल एक्सपेंसेस बीइंग पेड बाय द एम्प्लॉयर, दैट विल बी एंटायरली taxable. So herein we says whenever it is being hired from outside, so the amount which will be taxable is the rental charges that have been paid by the employer. Now further on, let us suppose you sell the asset which have been given to you by the employer, right? So in such cases what will happen? You have done what is, you are not just utilizing the asset, you have done is entirely you have sold the asset. So in the such scenarios you will take the actual cost of asset कि कितने का वो asset था, उसमें से कितना over the time period depreciation आपका लगा उस asset के ऊपर और कितना आपको सेल कंसिडरेशन यानी कि कितना जो है सेल कंसिडरेशन मिला है. जो रिमेनिंग फिगर रह जाएगी, दैट मीन्स द बैलेंसिंग फिगर, दैट विल बी योर रिटन डाउन वैल्यू ऑफ द एसेट, दैट विल बी टैक्सेबल. अगर एसेट जो है आप सेल करते हैं if there being a sale of movable asset by the employer to the employee. So whenever being you could say कि आपका employer employee को फर्दर सेल आउट ही कर देता है अपना मूवेबल एसेट, सो एक्सेस कितना बेनिफिट मिल रहा है उस सेल में उसको असरटेन करने के लिए हम क्या करते हैं, हम सिंपली उसकी एक्चुअल कॉस्ट से डेप्रिसिएशन माइनस करते हैं. और डेप्रिसिएशन किस हिसाब से कंप्यूट करते हैं, वी कंप्यूट एट द रेट, लेट अस सपोज अगर मोटर कार है तो 20% एज पर योर रिटर्न डाउन वैल्यू मेथड, and when we are talking about electronic items it is computed at the rate 50% on on the basis of your written down value method. In case it is any other asset apart from your electronic items or your motor car, then in that case will be flatly taking up a 10% as per your straight line method of your depreciation. Now एक्चुअल कॉस्ट ऑफ एसेट में से हमने डिप्रिसिएशन को माइनस करा, माइनस जितना पैसा जो है सेल कंसिडरेशन का एम्प्लॉय ने एज अ कंसिडरेशन एम्प्लॉयर को पे ऑफ करा है. So after subtracting both of depreciation and the sale consideration from the actual cost of the asset, whatever be the balancing figure that you are getting will be taxable, right? Now another point that comes facility that we will be discussing about will be your rent free accommodation. Now this rent free accommodation, that means you are having the facility of accommodation that being provided by your, you could say, the employer, and that accommodation you are not paying any rent onto the same, right? And plus on that accommodation could be a furnished one and it can also be a unfurnished. That means उसमें फर्नीचर फैसिलिटी हो सकती है, प्रॉपरली आपका उसमें फर्नीचर लगा है, बाकी के इक्विपमेंट्स लगे हैं, सो हम कहेंगे फुली फर्निश्ड है, राइट. अनफर्निश्ड मीन्स कोई फैसिलिटी नहीं मिल रही है. सो पहला केस लेते हैं, अगर कोई अनफर्निश्ड अकोमोडेशन जो गवर्नमेंट प्रोवाइड कर रही है अपने एम्प्लॉय को, गवर्नमेंट यहाँ पे मतलब सेंट्रल या फिर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ओनली. सो यू वुड सी कि जो गवर्नमेंट का कॉनोटेशन है डिफरेंट फैसिलिटीज डिफरेंट अलाउंसेस में डिफर करता है. कहीं पर हम गवर्नमेंट में सेंट्रल एंड स्टेट गवर्नमेंट लेते हैं, कहीं पर विल ऑल्सो कंसिडर द लोकल अथॉरिटी, एंड इन सर्टन केसेस वी आर ऑल्सो कंसिडरिंग द स्टैट्यूटरी कॉर्पोरेशन. सो वी हैव टू बी वेरी स्पेसिफिक अबाउट द सेम. सो इन दिस केस whenever being an unfurnished accommodation that is being provided by your government and that to a central and the state government, so the taxable amount will be your license fee जितना भी आपका होगा, subtracting the rent that has been paid by the employee. So license fee में से आप अपना जितना भी employee ने rent pay off करा है उसको subtract करेंगे and the remaining income will be your taxable amount, right? Similarly, अब अगर हम assume करते हैं कि furnished accommodation दी है गवर्नमेंट ने, राइट. सो जितना भी आपने अनफर्निश्ड के अकॉर्डिंगली अभी निकाला, दैट मीन्स टैक्सेबल अमाउंट कितना निकला आपका, लाइसेंस फी में से जितना रेंटल इनकम जो पे करा है एम्प्लॉय में, उसमें आप क्या ऐड करिए, 10% ऑफ योर कॉस्ट ऑफ फर्नीचर. अगर एम्प्लॉयर का खुद का फर्नीचर है तो आप उसका 10% कॉस्ट ले लीजिए, अगर हायर करा है तो जितने भी हायर चार्जेस दिए उसको एड ऑन कर दीजिए, राइट. बट लेट अस से that it is an unfurnished accommodation and which is provided by the employer, which is owned by the employer की खुद की accommodation है, unfurnished है. So उस केस में हम कैसे कंसिडर करेंगे, will be taking 15% सैलरी का, अगर वो ऐसी जगह पर इसी सिटी पर में आपको ये कुछ accommodation दी है जहाँ की पॉपुलेशन 25 लाख से ज्यादा है, राइट. और हम 10% ऑफ सैलरी लेंगे जहां पर आपका जहां पर आपकी फैसिलिटी मिली है वहां की पॉपुलेशन अगर आपकी 10 लाख से एक्सीड करती है. सिमिलरली विल बी टेकिंग योर 7.5% ऑफ सैलरी वेयर इन द पर्सन इज रिजाइडिंग इन सच सिटी जहां पर जो पॉपुलेशन है वो 10 लाख से भी कम है. तो जो अभी हमने कहा 15%, 10% या 7.5% ऑफ योर सैलरी का मतलब जो या कॉनोटेशन यहाँ पर क्या होगा, सैलरी वुड इक्वल टू योर बेसिक सैलरी plus the dearness allowance which is forming a part of your for considering all those retirement benefits, plus the commission that is being taken on to percentage basis, and plus the taxable allowances. So यहाँ पर सैलरी का आपका समेशन होगा बेसिक प्लस DA forming part plus your commission on percentage basis plus the taxable allowances. इसमें फोर्थ कैटेगरी आएगी आपकी अगर फर्निश अकोमोडेशन है जो प्रोवाइड किया जा रहा है एंड इट इज ओन्ड बाय द एम्प्लॉयर, अभी तक हमने अनफर्निश की बात करी, ओन्ड बाय द एम्प्लॉयर, अब हम बात कर रहे हैं फर्निश की। तो अनफर्निश में अगेन आप 10% कॉस्ट ऑफ फर्नीचर ऐड करेंगे या फिर अपने हायर चार्जेस ऐड करेंगे, जो भी वट एवर द रूट यू आर टेकिंग अप, राइट। सिमिलरली अगर आप बात करते हैं कि अनफर्निश अकोमोडेशन प्रोवाइड की गई है या फिर रेंट पर आपको दी गई है, तो उस केस में आप सैलरी का 15%, और सैलरी का मतलब अगेन बेसिक प्लस डीए फॉर्मिंग पार्ट प्लस कमीशन ऑन परसेंटेज बेसिस प्लस द टैक्सेबल अलाउंसेस, राइट। सो जितना भी आपका सैलरी का 15% या फिर लीज रेंट जितना आपने, क्योंकि यहाँ पर हम बात कर रहे हैं कि आपको अनफर्निश अकोमोडेशन प्रोवाइड की गई है, दैट टू विच इज बीइंग टेकन ऑन टू रेंट, सो इन दिस केस विल बी टेकिंग द 15% ऑफ सैलरी और द lease rent that has been paid, so whichever being the less. Another category comes is your, अगर आपको फर्निश अकोमोडेशन दी गई है वो भी रेंट पर ली गई थी, सेम केस है अनफर्निश वाला, बट अब हमने उसको फर्निश में कर दिया, तो फर्निश में अगेन 10% ऑफ कॉस्ट ऑफ योर फर्नीचर ऐड हो जाएगा या फिर हायर चार्जेस। इसमें फर्दर केस है, लेटर सपोज ना रेंट पर लिया है, ना एम्प्लॉयर की फैसिलिटी थी या ना ही एम्प्लॉयर ने खरीदा था उस घर को या ओन्ड था उसके थ्रू, हम कह रहे हैं हाँ अकोमोडेशन जो प्रोवाइड की गई है वो होटल में प्रोवाइड की गई है। सो उस केस में जो टेम्पररी होटल स्टे आपको प्रोवाइड किया जाता है इनिशियल पीरियड में, मेनी आर फर्म्स प्रोवाइड फॉर द सेम, मेनी आर कंपनीज प्रोवाइड फॉर द सेम, इट इज नॉट टैक्सेबल। बट इन केस अगर आपको फर्निश अकोमोडेशन प्रोवाइड की जाती है, फुली फर्निश एक होटल में, सो जितना भी आपने उसका चार्जेस पे ऑफ करा है या सैलरी का 24% ऑफ योर सैलरी, सो वट एवर बीइंग द लोअर ऑफ द सेम, it will be taken up as your the taxable one, right? So this was all about the different perquisites. We'll be talking about a number of other perquisites in the coming series. So thank you for the day.